Hello my friends and welcome back. Today we're going over everything you need to know to learn a back handspring. Alright, there's 4 prerequisites you're going to need if you want to learn a back handspring. A handstand, a backwards roll, a bridge, and although it's not strictly necessary, it is very helpful to have a bridge kickover. Now, I know not everybody has a lovely gym like this to practice in, so first we're going to go over some progressions that you could use anywhere, on grass, on concrete, on broken glass, although I wouldn't recommend it. Then we're going to go over some drills that you can use if you have a gym environment to learn in. The first progression set for back handspring uses the macaco, and that looks like this. It's pretty much a one-handed back handspring, but it's a lot less scary because you're going over the side. So first you have to decide which way you're going to go. If you cartwheel to the left like I do, then you're going to use your left hand. If you cartwheel to the right, you're going to use your right hand. You start by crouching down, pretty easy. Then one hand goes behind you and you want your fingers facing away from you. From this position, you are going to pretend there's a line right here and a line pointing behind you. You're going to jump to the line and then jump all the way back so you end facing the same direction. Once you're comfortable with that, you're going to try to jump all the way around without taking that break in the middle. When I'm jumping, I'm making sure I'm pushing off this arm super tall and I'm throwing my other arm over. You can start by throwing your arm kind of over the side as you jump, but then as you go higher and higher, you want to throw your arm higher and higher, from here to here. Next, if you're flexible enough, your goal is to jump into a bridge. So you're jumping here and push into a bridge shape. Then you just keep practicing that until you get it. Higher and higher and higher until you can go almost straight over the top. Once you feel comfortable going straight over your head, the next step is to do the same thing except both arms go in front. Then you're going to throw your arms over the side into a back handspring so you can see the ground the whole time. Then just like you did with the macaco, you're going to jump higher and higher and higher until you can go straight over your head. And there's your back handspring. If you have a trampoline handy, using it will make a macaco and a back handspring a lot easier to learn, but you don't strictly need them. If you're like me and you need a back handspring for competitive gymnastics, here are the progressions that almost all coaches use when they teach back handsprings. There are 3 shapes that you need to know when learning a back handspring with the gymnastics method. The first is your starting shape, and that's called a coil shape. The second is your arch shape when you're jumping into a back handspring, and I call that a banana shape. The third shape is after you pop off the ground with your hands and you keep a nice hollow shape as you are standing back up. And fourth, you end back in that same coil shape. A great way to practice these shapes is by using a cheese mat on a wall or just a wall if you don't have a cheese mat. For your coil shape, the goal is to tuck your butt under, cover your ears with your arms, and then lean back till your shoulders hit the wall. You want only your shoulders to be touching. Then you're going to throw your arms back to hit that arch shape. So once again, lean back and throw those arms. For the banana handstand shape, you want to have a tight arch, squeezing your muscles, and then snap your toes down to a hollow push-up shape. When practicing the snap down part of a back handspring, the goal is to push off with your hands and throw them towards the ceiling while keeping your arms right by your ears, and then try to snap your toes under you and rebound onto a block. Once you have the basic shapes down, we can start the progressions for the actual back handspring. The goal is to be explosive in throwing your arms back and pushing all the way through your toes. Your goal is to get your feet past the end of the mat. Once you feel comfortable jumping on the mat, find a boulder or a barrel or something similar. With the boulder, we're basically going to combine the coil shape that we did on the wall with the jumping over the mat. Start by standing a little bit in front of the boulder so you have room to lean back, hit that coil shape, and then throw. Now notice that I hit all 3 of those back handspring shapes. The coil at the beginning, the arch into your banana handstand, and then once your hands touch the ground, the hollow snap to push-up position. I always recommend people start with their arms here instead of here because it promotes a better coil shape and a better shape entering your back handspring. But if you can't get over the boulder with your arms here, then feel free to swing your arms down. Just make sure your head is looking forward and you are tucking your butt under instead of sticking it out. Then stroke. Once you feel like you've got it down on the boulder, now would be a good time to progress to either a trampoline or a nice soft mat. Same thing, you're going to start with your arms up. Swing them down, making sure your butt is tucked under. Lean, and then jump. The last step before we take back handsprings to the floor is to do it on a tumble track if you haven't. Back handsprings are a setup move. That means you want to make them as long and as low as you can. So in order to make them long, when you lean back, you gotta wait until you feel like you're about to fall over and then throw your arms. Once you get it on the tumble track, there's not really much more that you need to do with the back handspring. You just try it on harder and harder surfaces, like maybe an 8-incher, until you can do it comfortably on the spring floor. One of the most frustrating parts of learning a new trick is when you do everything you can, but it's still not going right. So let's troubleshoot. The biggest problem that I see when people are first learning back handsprings, other than the fear barrier, is a lack of power. And that comes because of a lack of strength. So if you have been doing drills for a long time and you're not making any progress, one of the things that will help the most is just getting stronger. Doing leg workouts, doing ab workouts, doing arm workouts. Second, if you feel like you're having trouble going back in your back handspring and you're going up instead, or if you can get over in your back handspring but you can't get anything out of it, you can't get a rebound or another back handspring, it is probably because your head is sticking out. Throwing your head back in a back handspring is pretty common because it's scary and you want to try to look at the ground. But whenever you're doing back tumbling, backflips or back handsprings, the goal is to keep your head in a neutral position, not looking down, not looking way back, right in the middle, and that'll give you the best form when you're going into your back handspring so you can get the most power out of your back handspring. Third is the mistake of sticking your butt way out instead of tucking it under. Now this usually accompanies the bad habit of throwing your head back, and it can cause pretty much the same problems. It'll make it harder to go backwards and make you go up instead, and it'll make it really hard when you're coming out of your back handspring to snap into another. Fourth, and probably most important, is just being a jelly monster. Anytime you're doing tumbling, it's very important to squeeze your muscles. And with all of the things that you have to think about when you're doing a back handspring, it can be hard to think about squeezing super tight as well. But the one thing that will help your back handspring faster than almost anything else is squeezing all your muscles and being explosive with your actions. When it comes to back handsprings, just like any skill, they're going to take a lot of time and effort to get really good. If you find yourself getting stuck, start at the very beginning and work on the progressions again until you feel super comfortable doing each of them, and then work your way up from there. Lastly, if you found this video helpful and you want to see more like it, go ahead and boop that subscribe button right on the nose. If you liked it, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike, and let me know what skills you're working on in the comments. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the flip side. Whee!